believe, but it's true, that more than 1 in every 3 North American households has a video game system. If you have kids, you probably have a Nintendo game probably at home. In fact, Nintendo alone receives over 30,000 calls a month in Canada. Questions about Nintendo and the video games. And joining us this morning is a game counselor from Nintendo. We have Megan Ferris with us. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning.
So your job then is to sit and play video games all day?
Yep, that's what I do. 4 hours a week. Oh yeah, answering calls, helping people out, and playing video games.
That's it? Mm-hmm. Okay. 30,000 calls in Canada alone. What kind of questions do people ask?
We get tons of questions on the gameplay line. They're usually stuck in a game. They've been there for 3 days, and they're like, can't get out. They don't know what to do. They're frustrated, so they call us. We figure out where they're at, and we tell them how to go further.
And so it's a helpline?
Yep, so it's a helpline.
Do you get calls from parents or kids?
Both.
Both?
Yeah, we get a lot of calls from parents, actually, and grandparents. Like 70 years old, they always tell us they're very proud of it. You know, I'm a 70-year-old grandmother, I'm playing Nintendo, you know. They
really?
Tell us, oh yeah, it's great.
Do you find that parents take a keen interest in the game itself when they purchase it for their kids? A lot of parents don't even know how to play it. They just play it because little Johnny wants it or buy it for them. Do they take a keen interest in it?
I think a lot of people do. A lot of parents do take a good interest in it. A lot of parents probably should take more of an interest in it too. So.
What are maybe some tips or guidelines for parents that maybe want to purchase a Nintendo game for Christmas? What should they look for and what should they avoid?
Well, it's hard to say because that's a difficult question to answer because every child is different and every household is different and stuff. So I would suggest calling our consumer service line at Nintendo. And what I do anyway, especially around Christmas, I'll ask them how old their children are and how long they've been playing video games. And I'm kind of like get an idea of where they're at, and then I can kind of suggest different games, like either action games or adventure games, or depending on the age of the child.
Okay. When you go out and buy a Nintendo game cartridge type thing, you've got a seal of approval too, which is very important.
Right.
Tell us about that seal.
The seal of quality is on every single game and accessory for the Nintendo systems. It's a gold and white seal. It says official Nintendo seal of quality. And what that says is it meets all the standards that we have set for our games. And the standards that we have are the ones that are they're the socially acceptable norms of society right now. That's what our standards are. Could be, we don't have any games that have excessive violence or anything that's sexually explicit. We don't have games that have drugs or alcohol usage or domestic violence or anything like that. Everything like that is taken out. Okay, now you've come up with this wonderful little pamphlet here that you brought along with us. This is very, very helpful. It's got a lot of guidelines. You've got some tips in here as well. Can this be sent out to anybody that's interested in Nintendo? Right. It can be sent out for free. It's a great little pamphlet for parents. It's called Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Video Games But Were Afraid to Ask Your Kids. Yeah. I think that's so cute. Yeah, I do too. You know, and what about playing Nintendo? I talk to a lot of parents that say kids just are so addicted to this game. From the time they get up in the morning, they're playing it. They come home at noon. Should there be a time limit put on something like this? Yeah, that's why parents should get involved. They should set limits to that. They should encourage their children to play outside and do their homework and do their chores. And in fact, they can even use playing Nintendo games as an incentive to do that, which is something that Nintendo does encourage. It's also written out there in that brochure too. What are some of the masters? How old are these kids that can master these games? Oh, it could be various ages. You know, I've talked to parents, their kids are 5 years old and they've mastered Super Mario World, you know. And that just totally amazes me. I don't even know how to play the game. I hate to admit that, but I don't have any children. I don't know anything about it. I see these 4-year-olds playing this thing, and I'm just blown away. Right. You should totally give it a try. It's a lot of fun. So it is addicting. It's the kind of thing that... No, just all people enjoy it, actually, of all various ages. Most of them, I think, are teenagers that I get calls from. Teenage boys and girls, both. Okay, they're stuck on a game, but what other kind of questions do they call you about? Well, on the consumer service line, they'll call and ask about the latest releases for the Super NES and the regular NES and the Game Boy, and so we can tell them about that. They can ask about Nintendo Power Magazine and where they can find some tips or tricks in that magazine too, which is a great resource for any video game player. Okay, and you have something new for Christmas. Yeah, we have the NHL Stanley Cup. It's a great game. It was just kind of big release here in Canada last weekend in Toronto. What that is with the Super Nintendo, and it's using the Mode 7 graphics, and what that gives you is the seamless gameplay from one end of the ice rink to the other. And it's hard to explain, but it's like it doesn't break up at all. So like most games, you go from one end of the court or one end of the ice rink to the other, and it'll totally break in the middle, and it'll stop and then reset the game to go the other end. But this one, you flow from one end to the other. They're back and forth. Oh, that's nice. That actually makes you feel like you're actually playing hockey. That are a part of the rink and stuff. Another neat thing about that is they actually filmed hockey players in an ice rink and then computerized them and put them in the game. So you're seeing a hockey player out there skating up and down the ice rink. So it's very realistic. What technology. Just amazing. What about the referees? Are they substitutes?
substitute.
Yeah, it's a little late for that, so we weren't able to put that in there, but...
It's something that is new, that if you're looking for a Christmas gift idea and somebody you know has Nintendo, they can pick this up in time for Christmas.
Definitely. It'll be out in 2 weeks.
How many categories do you have? How many cartridges do you have? I don't know the Nintendo talk, but here, how many things can somebody buy?
We call them Game Packs.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Game Pass. I'm learning something new.
Right. For the regular Nintendo, we have about 680 titles that are available.
680.
And then for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, we have about 280. And then for the Game Boy, we have 350.
So there's something for everybody in there.
Oh, yeah. Great. Many categories of games, too.
Okay. So if you're thinking about Nintendo, you want to purchase it as a Christmas gift, or somebody in your family already has the game, the number to call is on the screen. If you'd like to have this handy-dandy little pamphlet set out to you, it's got the guidelines and everything that you should watch for this Christmas for Nintendo. Thanks a lot for coming
Thank you very much today.
All right. Good luck in Edmonton. I know you're on a little tour here.
Yeah,
have fun while you're here.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute.